I never should have gone into that cave. The desert had stripped me down to nothing, my lips cracked, my tongue swollen, my skin burning under the merciless sun. By the time night fell, I was stumbling, half-blind, chasing shadows across endless dunes. Each step felt like it would be my last. And then I saw it, an opening in the rock face, a black wound in the earth where cold air whispered out, sharp and clean. I dragged myself inside, collapsing onto the stone floor, shivering as the heat peeled away and silence swallowed me. My breath echoed back to me, ragged, desperate. That was when I saw it, the pool. It wasn't large, maybe the size of a small pond, but it gleamed faintly, as though it carried its own light, a pale shimmer that made the walls around it dance with reflections. Thirst drove me forward. I crawled to the edge, hands trembling, eyes fixed on that impossible glow. The surface of the water was still, perfectly still, as if it had been waiting for centuries, untouched. My reflection looked back at me, hollow-eyed, gaunt, but alive. I dipped my hands in. The water was cold, shockingly cold, and it sent a shiver up my spine. I drank. I didn't sip, I swallowed greedily, like an animal at the end of its tether. The water slid down my throat like ice and fire all at once, and for a moment, the world stopped. The exhaustion melted away. My body hummed with energy I couldn't explain. My vision cleared, sharp and bright, every shadow etched with impossible detail. That was when I heard it. A voice, close, behind me. A whisper that curled against my ear, quiet and absolute. You have no idea what you've just become. When I stumbled out of the cave, the desert wasn't the same. At first I thought it was exhaustion or delirium, but no, something fundamental had shifted. The sand shimmered differently under the starlight, as if every grain held a secret glow. The wind carried more than just dust. It carried voices. Not words, not exactly, but fragments of meaning, faint impressions that slid into my mind. Warnings, laments, even laughter, rising and falling with the breeze. My senses had sharpened. The night was no longer dark, it was alive with detail. I could see the ridges of dunes miles away, could trace the faint scuttling of a lizard half buried beneath the sand, could smell moisture in the air where no rain had fallen. Each heartbeat echoed in my ears, not just mine but faint echoes, as if the desert itself breathed with me. Then came the cactus. I brushed against it without thinking, steadying myself as I climbed a slope. Pain pricked my palm, but something stranger followed. For the briefest second, I felt it, the cactus itself. Its thirst, its hunger for water, its deep, slow patience stretching across years of sun and dust. It wasn't a voice, but it was a presence, vivid and undeniable. I ripped my hand back, staring at the plant as if it had bitten me. My heart hammered, not from pain but from terror. Humans don't hear the thoughts of plants. Humans don't see the world like this. Yet here I was, trembling in the silence of the desert, carrying something inside me I couldn't begin to name. The pool hadn't saved me. It had changed me. And as the night pressed down, I realized with icy clarity, I wasn't entirely human anymore. 3 nights passed before I saw them. At first, I thought the heat and the strange new senses inside me were playing tricks. The desert horizon shimmered, and shapes began to form, tall, silver silhouettes moving with a grace no human could match. Their armor reflected starlight like flowing mercury, and their eyes glowed faintly red, burning like embers under the night sky. They didn't walk. They glided, as though gravity itself bent differently around them. Then came the sound, not the roar of engines, not the rumble of wheels, but a low, vibrating hum that seemed to sink into my bones. Above me, the air rippled, and a craft descended. It wasn't built like any plane or helicopter I'd ever seen. Its outline bent light, folding the stars, making it seem both massive and insubstantial at once. My skin prickled. My instinct screamed. They weren't from Earth. One stepped forward, taller than the rest, and raised a hand. His voice didn't come through the air, it came straight into my head. Smooth, commanding, without a shred of mercy. You drank what was forbidden. You carry the seed now. Return it, or die. I froze, my mouth dry. I didn't understand. The words meant nothing to me, yet deep down, some new part of me recognized the truth. The pool hadn't been water. It had been something alive. Something imprisoned. And now it was inside me. When he raised his weapon, a sleek rod that pulsed with shifting light, instinct took over. The ground trembled under my feet. The sand swirled like a storm, lifting into the air as if obeying my panic. My hands glowed faintly, pulsing with the same light as his weapon. Before I knew what I was doing, I lashed out. An invisible force slammed into him, hurling his armored body into the side of a dune. The others stopped. I went back to the cave because I needed answers. The desert stretched endlessly behind me, but my feet carried me with a certainty I didn't understand, as if the thing inside me was guiding the way. My mind buzzed with questions, but one thought screamed louder than the rest. What have I become? The cave welcomed me with the same chill air, the same impossible silence. The pool lay still, glowing faintly as before, yet now it pulsed in rhythm with my own heartbeat. I knelt at the edge, staring at my reflection. My eyes weren't the same. They shimmered faintly in the dark, catching light when none should exist. That was when the whisper returned, curling around me like smoke. You are host now. The seed lives within you. The words weren't spoken. They bloomed directly in my mind, ancient and heavy. My throat tightened. What are you? What did you put inside me? A low laugh echoed, chilling in its calm. It was not meant for you. The pool was a prison, a vessel to contain what even empires feared. Yet you drank, human. You are its bearer now. The weight of those words pressed into me. I wanted to deny it, to believe I was hallucinating from heat and thirst. But the storm I had unleashed against the armored hunter proved otherwise. I was no longer just a man wandering the desert. I was something else. They will not stop, the whisper continued. They will burn your world to ash to reclaim what you carry, unless you learn to wield it. My chest ached as if 1,000 heartbeats thudded inside me. I wasn't chosen. I was cursed. But the truth settled in cold and sharp. I couldn't go back. The war had already found me. I thought no one would believe me. I thought if I told the truth, that I had drunk from a pool hidden in the desert, and now carried something alien inside me, they'd lock me away in some government bunker and throw away the key. But when I finally broke and shared my secret, the reaction wasn't fear. It was fire. The first person I told was a geologist stationed nearby. Instead of laughing, she leaned forward, eyes wide, and said, "Show me." When I raised my hand and the sand stared in a spiraling dance, she didn't scream. She called her colleagues. Soon there were scientists, soldiers, even engineers surrounding the cave, bringing equipment, building makeshift labs around the pool. They weren't afraid of the impossible. They were hungry for it. Humans are strange that way. We don't turn away from the unknown. We poke it, study it, try to tame it, and if we can't, we prepare to fight it. As weeks passed, I wasn't just some wanderer cursed with an alien seed. I was a focus point, a rallying spark. The more I trained, the stronger the connection became. I could hear faint heartbeats of people miles away, could bend the air into storms with a thought, could sense danger before it arrived. But it wasn't just me who changed. Around the pool, others began to feel it. Scientists reporting sharper thoughts, soldiers reacting faster, even ordinary people claiming strange dreams of stars and fire. It was as though the seed inside me resonated outward, linking to every human it touched. That was when I realized the truth. I hadn't been chosen alone. The moment I drank from that pool, humanity itself had been set on a new path. And the universe would never see us the same again. They came without warning. No diplomacy, no signals in the sky, just darkness falling in the middle of the day. At first we thought it was an eclipse, but when the sun vanished behind a wall of metal, the truth hit like ice in the veins. Their fleet was here. Hundreds of ships, vast and silent, blotting out the heavens. The air thrummed with energy, pressure building like a storm before lightning. Then the strikes began. Orbitals, clean and merciless. Entire ridges of desert vaporized in white fire. Cities shuddered as power grids collapsed. Communication lines fried in an instant. They didn't want our surrender, they wanted our erasure. To them, Earth was just collateral, a nest to be burned in order to smoke out the creature inside me. I stood on a dune overlooking the chaos, my chest burning as if the seed were clawing its way out. Fear twisted my gut, but beneath it was something harder, sharper. I could feel the pulse of millions of human lives, terrified, desperate, but unyielding. Soldiers scrambling to defend, families clutching one another, scientists refusing to abandon their posts. The seed resonated with them all, binding their will to mine in a way I could hardly understand. The first wave of fire fell toward me, a blazing spear from the heavens. Instinct seized me. I raised my hand, and the world cracked open. The desert rose in a wall of sand and stone, bending the energy blast until it tore harmlessly into the sky. My heart hammered, the seed erupting in brilliance. The aliens faltered. For the first time, their perfect formation wavered. Because in that moment, I wasn't just one man. I was every human who refused to kneel. And the universe itself felt our defiance. The battle ended not with a bang, but with silence. Their fleets broke apart like glass under a hammer, ships scattering into the void, engines burning as they fled. The sky above Earth cleared, revealing the stars again, only this time, I knew we weren't staring at them the same way. Something had changed. Something permanent. I stood among the ruins of what had been their assault point, my body trembling with exhaustion. Smoke curled into the air, carrying the scent of ash and ozone. Around me, survivors emerged from bunkers, soldiers raised their rifles in triumph, and scientists clutched their instruments with tears in their eyes. We had survived. More than that, we had won. But I knew the truth. It wasn't me alone who had driven them back. The seed inside me had become a bridge. Every time I fought, I felt humanity with me, our anger, our hope, our stubborn refusal to be crushed. It wasn't just my power. It was ours. The whisper returned then, faint but unmistakable, curling in the back of my mind like smoke carried on wind. Now, you finally understand. You were never just a vessel. You are the spark. And your kind has awakened. I should have felt fear. I should have felt the weight of what that meant. But instead, I smiled through the exhaustion. For so long, humans had been told by the universe, by silence, by indifference, that we were small. But small things endure. Small things adapt. And small things, when united, can move mountains. We were no longer a species looking at the stars in awe. We were a force the stars themselves would reckon with. Because what we had become was human. And that was enough.